it must be Sunday night because we are in the building. Guys, once again, it's your boy Virgil back with another episode of the We Book It podcast. And of course, I cannot do this show mainly without all of you that are watching, but of course, without my esteemed co-host. I got the best in the business, guys, teaming with me on my side, my tag team partner with the Four Horsemen of podcast wrestling, and we run this together. Let me tell you something. I got the best in the business, covering everything AEW. His name is Big Daddy C.
Yo.
And of course, we got the workhorse of the four podcast horsemen. His name is Coach.
Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Let's get to it.
And of course, he is the freakiest of all the freaks. He is your world heavyweight champion. He is the Booker of the Year. He covers everything that is Friday Night SmackDown. Guys, you need to give it up for the man, the freakiest one, Fritos.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my singles and tag team competitors. I am a bit buzzed. It's okay, because it's what? We have a 3-day weekend, and Notre Dame is going to be in their national championship title tomorrow, and they're going to win it because of fuck Ohio State, baby.
That's the first F-bomb of the night. Now,
can you say that again for me, please?
No, don't say that again. Thank you. Okay, let's move along. Okay, moving right along. Let's get into topics. So tonight, guys, we got a packed show for you, of course, as usual. And the very first thing we got to talk about, it has been buzzing all over wrestling. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it buzz? Is it not? Is he really upset, or is he just playing us all? Guys, Corey Graves this past week took to Twitter and went off. I mean, completely nuclear. He called out WWE. He called out the fact that he has been holding it down, that not only did he get wrestling taken away from him, but then he turned around and he got his spot as a commentary on SmackDown and on Raw taken away from him because of the returning Pat McAfee. And he just went the hell off. And I mean, for one, I kind of feel where he's coming from with that, but also there were others within the business, or former colleagues within the business, that also replied to him. But let's start off with Graves' comments first and foremost. Did everybody see Graves' comments?
Yes,
Correct.
I did. I think
Okay.
It's been going around everywhere on X and all these social medias.
Yes, it has. Okay, so Coach, what was your take on what he had to say?
Well, I mean, initially, I kind of was thinking, we had talked about this a little bit on the Monday Night Raw dog. It seemed like immediately that it didn't seem ordinary. It seemed like something was up, and we had to think about it and say, okay, well, maybe they're setting up a WrestleMania match between him and Pat McAfee. Well, I am reading a article here on cageseats.com, and they are reporting that was actually a legit shoot by Corey Graves. Now, what people are speculating, this hasn't been confirmed, is that people backstage in WWE, again, according to Cage Seats, have said that Graves was legitimately upset that he got demoted, or at least switched to NXT, and took out his frustrations while also trying to quote unquote blur the lines of reality. But apparently the higher ups in WWE did not think that was good enough to blur the lines and told him to delete the post. Now, it is being rumored that if they do let Corey Graves back on air, they might work with this and turn it into a storyline. So it really just comes down to what they're going to do with Corey Graves. But if he comes back, I do think they're going to work this into a storyline some way, somehow.
I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing either. A disgruntled employee coming in to work feeling like they are underappreciated, feeling like nobody cares about the damn hard work that they put into their craft. I mean, it's been done before and it's worked before. Is this something you think you would want to see, Fritos?
I do. I mean, a lot of the speculation right now is because of Pat McAfee, because they said Pat's the bigger name and all that stuff. So if we get a match at Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, or WrestleMania between Corey Graves returning back in the ring and Pat McAfee, I think it'd be fantastic because we already know that what Pat's ability in the ring. But yeah, right now it's in between because I did not see that report. So, but yeah, as of right now, I would like to see both Corey Graves and Pat back in the ring and see what happens.
What do you think, C?
I honestly, I would like to see him back in the ring too, because I never, outside of the few highlights that I saw, on YouTube of him like wrestling, like I never really like got a chance to see it like to the fullest extent, like other people did that really paid attention to it in the moment that they happened. So it would be nice to see how he is if he does come back to wrestling. I would like to see him go against Pat. That would be a good matchup for WrestleMania if possible.
Agreed. I think so too. I think that it would actually do a lot for NXT, who is trying to create this buzz. Obviously, we talked about the partnership between TNA and WWE, which we will go and dive into even more in a little bit. But like I said, I just think that this is one of those things where you can literally blur the lines in between this, and people really won't know the difference between the two. And I really think that this could offer an opportunity for Graves and for Pat McAfee. And I tell you how you do it. Here's how you do it. You have Corey Graves. You let Corey Graves get a microphone and literally run down Pat McAfee. Literally cut the nastiest stinking promo on him on the CW. If you let Rock get away with all those F-bombs when he came, you can let Corey Graves get away with 1 or 2 F-bombs while he's there. But literally just let him run down and just shoot on how he feels about what's going on in WWE and the current state of WWE. Because you got to think about this. Not everybody is going to be happy with the changes that WWE is making. And I know they want this to feel like a big kumbaya and, oh, we're all on one team. As much as Cody Rhodes like to say here, all on one team. I'm pretty sure Cody Rhodes is going to be pissed when he finds out he ain't quarterback 1 no more either. Like I said, which I think is coming sooner rather than later. So, again, disgruntled employees being upset about the position and the way that they're used, you can literally take real life or segments of real life and put it into a storyline, and that's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes it legit. And all these people that were on social media that were talking about, oh, well, Graves, you should have been better. You should have made yourself into more of a heelish character. You kind of blurred, you kind of played between the lines a little bit too much. All these people that haven't been in the business that don't understand these type of things. What I would tell you is Corey Graves did what was needed at the time for the person he was working for. What I would tell you is now we're about to see some realism, and I hope that they allow him to be as unfiltered as possible. What say you, Coach?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the best way, if they do keep Corey Graves, which I bet they will, is let them build that realism that we've been appreciating so much about WWE in the Triple H era, is that he is back to blurring the lines between reality and what's supposed to be part of the show. I think people are begging to see this come to a conclusion, or at least have this continue somehow. And once we get that, we'll go from there. But there needs to be something else done. Nothing, and maybe they're working on it right now, but we can't just go from deleted tweets to speculation. We need to have some kind of substance to keep going forward with this. And whether that's him getting fired to where we all know, okay, well then yes, he went rogue, or him coming back just to hijack a show or something. Heck, maybe he leads a TNA invasion into NXT or something because of his disgruntled how he feels. There's possibilities that can go with this, but we just want to have answers with it. And I think once we get our answer, then we'll have some more. We'll have a lot more clarity with it.
Yeah, agreed. 1,000%. 1,000%. I think that this is one of those things where we can literally build on it, and it can make something even bigger and even better. Somebody had a comment that I did want to bring out on the podcast. I did want to mention our good friend Jonathan Coachman, former WWE commentator, former WWE announcer, had this to say when he took to X. He says, so Corey is upset for being bumped from the main announce roster. Happened to JR 5 times, happened to Cole multiple times, happened to me multiple times. He is right. He is really good at his job, but playing in the sandbox a little bit better might not hurt next time. Embrace whatever role you have and understand that you are lucky to have it. There are only 3 to 5 of these jobs at the highest level. Who knows? Maybe they asked him to be a part of a 3-man booth. We know he doesn't like that. Talking about former stuff that he had to say. LOL. Sorry, had to. Last line of joke. The rest is it's the wrestling business. It happens. So Jonathan Coachman is referring to the history between him and Graves. Him and Graves were set to be on a 3-man commentary booth at one point, and Graves literally went behind his back and told them that he didn't think that it would be good for Coachman to work a 3-man commentary booth with him and I believe Michael Cole. And so they scratched Coachman, and it just became Graves and Cole on that commentary booth. But what do you guys think of Coachman's comments? We'll start with you, Fritos.
I agree. I mean, you don't have a lot of opportunities in WWE because we know we have Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett on SmackDown, Pat and Michael Cole basically set. So you have this opportunity right here on NXT to basically prove, even though that he's been on SmackDown and Raw to prove that where he's been at. Granted, he's not the big name like Pat or Joe or whatever, but this is also NXT is a way to basically assert yourself, basically to show that you're different from those guys, to be that you deserve to be on the main roster, to be on the commentary team. So yeah, I mean, right now I feel like with all the not the text, but the tweets and all that showing that he's upset, but just go back on there and prove why you should be on there and be a little bit different. I mean, Booker T was on the main roster for a little bit, then brought down to NXT because he also was running his promotion. But show that you deserve to be on that main roster and have some type of different flair. Because right now I feel like he's almost in the same bracket of Wade and I wouldn't say Michael Cole, but just there. But just show why you deserve to be on there too.
Agree. What you think, C?
I think for me, I think Coach kind of took like a more like he kind of like
Jonathan Coachman.
Yeah, he took the most Jonathan Coachman way you could possibly take, but also like providing some type of advice, like true advice to him as well. Because Jonathan Coachman been in that role before, like, you know, especially being a black guy doing commentary for a company like WWE, you know, so like the fact he's been a commentator for both shows, both Raw and SmackDown, so he's been bounced around doing backstage interviews and Attitude Era. Like he's gotten his start. Like he's paid his dues in the company. So if anybody would know what it takes to go from the bottom to the top, you know, it is definitely Coachman. And to see where he's at now, even with ESPN or wherever he's at now, like Corey Graves can learn a lot from John and Coachman. So I don't take any issue to what he said, honestly.
What about you, Coach?
Yeah, I think there was some tongue-in-cheek part of that post, just to kind of air his grievances just for very briefly. But at the same time, I think he's professional and he wants to help Corey Graves. I'm sure there's no that much bad blood. And he's just giving an example that even the greats fall down, and it's how you respond to that adversity, whether you become a great or not.
Yeah, Jim Ross got moved to NXT before he left. So, I mean, it might have been his decision, but you know,
right?
Before he left WWE, he was in NXT for a little bit. Now he in AEW.
Yeah.
So, happens.
All right. Well, we will keep eyes on this Corey Graves story. And of course, if anything happens, we will be on here to update you guys. But now, guys, it's time for a brand new segment, one that I am proud to announce. It is time for Virgil's Magic Moments in Wrestling.
Why do you get 15 seconds? All of us only get like 3 seconds on that.
What are you talking about? I get like
Given-
a quick picture compared to you guys. That was like
Given-
Disney-esque.
All right, let's give it Christmas
Startup.
Hallmark movie.
Oh my!
Hey, shut it up, all of you.
Direct to DVD.
That was a Disney-esque startup. I was expecting a Disney movie to start. I was expecting Lion King.
All right,
I'm also
so
producing so I can unmute myself.
yeah, stop it. Mute yourself back up. You mute yourself. Now, all right, folks. So, on the first edition of Virgil's Magic Moments in Wrestling, since we were talking about Corey Graves and everything that's going on with him and the commentary booth, and since Jonathan Coachman did bring up the fact that not only himself, Michael Cole, but the great Jim Ross have all lost their starting spot in the rotation for lead commentator, I wanted to bring up actually one of the times where the WWE tried to turn JR heel. The year, folks, is 1999. Jim Ross has had multiple bouts throughout his lifetime with Bell's palsy. And it comes back at different times. And most times throughout the 90s and throughout the Attitude Era, whenever JR had an issue with Bell's palsy, it would be Michael Cole standing in for him. Well, this time they decided, somehow Vince McMahon got the bright idea to say, okay, I'm going to turn Jim Ross heel. I'm going to bring him back. I'm going to turn him heel. And in fact, he did do so in 1999. Early 99, he teamed him up with Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and JR. Actually, what?
Bro, we can't see you.
What do you mean can't see me? I can see me.
Screen is black, my guy.
I can see you.
I can't.
I can't either.
Well, as long as they can see me, that's all that matters. As long as they can hear me. Anyways, back to my story. All right, so setting the scene up, they try to turn Jim Ross heel by teaming him up with Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and then he actually comes out on Monday Night Raw during a live match to call a match. Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler are getting ready to call Hardcore Holly, I think, against Al Snow or one of them. And literally, Jim Ross comes out in the middle of the match with Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and he literally unveils his own commentary desk that says JR is Raw, and he has his own commentary desk out there, and he's a heel. If you have time, please go back. This is right before WrestleMania. Please go back and watch that magic moment, wrestling moment on Monday Night Raw. It is hilarious. Heel JR treated Michael Cole's life. He actually did end up kicking Michael Cole in the nuts also, and told him to take his Yankee ass back up north. So, like I said, it was quite the thing. But this has been another version, the very first edition of Virgil's Magic Moments in Wrestling. Don't it just make y'all feel warm and fuzzy inside? Like excited, like something big is getting ready to happen?
I feel like I'm in a Disney movie.
Good.
To be honest. I was expecting Mickey Mouse.
So is
I don't know if it's just my screen, but I know we both black brothers, but I really cannot see you right now.
Same.
What in the world? Coach, can you see me?
I can see you.
I don't know if
I
it's
can't.
a play.
Okay,
I don't
now
know
I
if it's a
can't see
play
you.
on John Cena. I don't know if it's a play on John.
Can you see me now?
Now I
I
can.
don't know what's going on.
I can't.
You still can't?
Okay, let me go
Fritos,
out
you're
and come
drunk,
back
so
in.
you
Hold
don't
on,
really
hold
get a
on.
say in this.
No. I am buzzed. But that screen was dark.
Okay, now that he's gone, let's talk about. Oh shoot! Hey,
John Cena's
Can you
the
see me
greatest.
now?
Oh, yep.
yeah.
Can you see me?
Yep.
See?
Let me go out real quick. Hold on.
You can't see me. My time is now. Your future WWE champion, John Cena.
We apologize for these technical difficulties,
We don't know
folks.
what's happening yet. He might go for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Literally, when John Cena gets this title, I'm going to go buy the John Cena plates and replace these plates with John Cena plates.
What happens if he goes for the World Heavyweight?
He won't.
How do you know?
He's going to
It
be a
can happen.
17-time WWE champion, Fritos. Now, come on.
17,
You do not know that.
17-time.
WWE champion. Say it with me, Fritos. 17-time WWE champion. The greatest WWE champion of all time.
You can't keep repeating it, but guess what? You don't know. Triple H can book it differently. As long as he's got a world championship, he can do WWE or World Heavyweight.
I guess.
As long as he gets that number. You don't know.
I know. I think I do know, Fritos. I
Oh,
don't think
really?
you know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
All right, I can see what's going on now.
Oh, you can? You can see me now?
Yep.
Good. And you know what? Quit hating on the fact that video was freaking magical. It was beautiful.
I didn't say.
I'm just waiting for the businessman to fall in love with the hometown baker, the former high school sweethearts.
Hey, featuring some actors that were kid actors that are past their prime now. That's still relevant.
It was magical, and that's all you guys need to know. Moving right along, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss both have been receiving a lot of buzz lately because both are rumored to be headed back to WWE. Man, I don't know if it's just me, or does it feel like to you guys like it's finna get real crowded and WWE here come real soon? I mean, it's a lot of names already. That's why both shows are almost damn near 3 hours. But with CF returning, and of course Alexa Bliss returning also, how would you guys book these two to return? And if anybody says Alexa Bliss needs to return with the Wyatt Six, I'm gonna slap you.
Ouch.
Well, Frito, you like getting slapped, so I wouldn't do it for you because you would enjoy it.
Exactly.
Let's start with Charlotte Flair, fellas. Let's start with Charlotte Flair's panel. How would you bring Charlotte Flair back? Go ahead, Big Daddy C. I'll let you go first.
Shit. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't really thought about it. But I mean, honestly, I would say, because the promo happened on SmackDown, so obviously she'll be back on SmackDown. My guess is that get things rolling, Royal Rumble, have her return at the Royal Rumble, have her win it, which will be to no one's surprise, and then go on to face Tiffany. But if she doesn't win the Rumble, she'll at least be one of the final four, and then she'll get opportunity in the Elimination Chamber to go against Tiffany at Mania, and then we get Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, which is what everyone wants to see. So those are my thoughts on how to bring her back in terms of like style and like gimmick. I don't know. I mean, she has one gimmick honestly that you can just keep at this point. Like,
you do not look enthused about this at all. Like you just look like, I mean, it is what it is. I guess she got to come back.
I mean, like I only wanted her back at the expense of taking the title off Nia Jax, but since Nia Jax no longer has the championship, like it's whatever.
I'm not quite so sure that she's gonna take it off Tiffany. Well, she might actually beat Tiffany for that WWE championship. What do you think, Coach?
That to happen. No.
So I'm kind of in agreement with C on that one. I think So they've already teased the promo video package right before Tiffany Stratton's title match. So I think that's the route they're going to go. Whether that is her winning the Rumble or not, I feel like that could still be up in the air. But I do see her coming for Tiffany Stratton. Maybe have Charlotte win at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Face Tiffany. But I'm already reading the rumors that it's going to be Charlotte and Tiffy at WrestleMania 41 for the women's championship.
We know Triple H loves him some Charlotte Flair, don't he? And he loves him some Tiffany Stratton too. And they're actually cut from the same cloth, really, with the whole athlete gymnastics thing. It's actually a really good story when you think about it. That Tiffany Stratton is just a Charlotte Flair wannabe. I know that's how Charlotte's going to paint it. What do you think, Fritos?
So I think they're going to keep teasing Charlotte. She's going to make her grand return at Royal Rumble, but she won't win. She might be the final four, if not like the final six in the whole Royal Rumble. But she's going to stay on SmackDown because Andrade's there, and they're going to try to keep the power couples together. But I do see her winning the Elimination Chamber, and that's going to play into WrestleMania with Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, because that's going to be a great match between two great athletes in that match.
I like that. Okay, so then if that's the case for Charlotte Flair, then Alexa Bliss has to be returning on Raw then, right?
Yeah, I mean, Raw's going to have more star power. At the same time, SmackDown needs some star power to draw in viewers too.
So does that mean that returning Alexa Bliss wins the Royal Rumble?
I don't know if Royal Rumble, if she's got to be in there in the top, either the top 6, the top 10 for the finalists, but she's got to be in there. I think it's going to be a slow build to bring back Alexa Bliss, since she's been out for what, year and a half, almost 2 years since she's had her
2
kid.
years pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much 2 years.
So they've got to do I don't want to say a slow build, but they got to do some type of build to bring her back up to the standard of a women's champion.
Yep. I agree with that. Like I said, I think you can actually bring her back and allow her to go ahead and allow her to go ahead and to fight Rhea Ripley for that women's world championship. Honestly, you probably get away with doing a 3-way for that women's world title. That way, if you don't have Rhea Ripley hold the title for a super duper long time, again, she don't have to necessarily get pinned either to lose her championship, and she can stay strong. But I definitely don't think that you need to have Rhea Ripley hold that title for as long as she held it the last time she was champ. I think a shorter reign this time would be good, especially since she doesn't need the title like she did the last time. I definitely think that we could get away with probably having a shorter Rhea Ripley title reign. Any more thoughts, guys, on this, on what you would do with Alexa Bliss or bringing her back?
We also got to talk about Becky Lynch too, since she's in the atmosphere of Raw too.
Yeah, she'll triple. If I know Triple H, I think he'll make her the third person in that triple threat match for the Women's World Championship.
That's true. That's fair. You can see that.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. The only thing I could see is I feel like they're going to tease her coming back like as a Wyatt 6 member, only to throw the carpet from underneath us and have her return to her original shtick, which was the
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, the Harley Quinn kind of one. I think that, I really like that one.
Well, we did get announced that Wyatt 6 can be on SmackDown now since the transfer portal. So, I mean, if they do keep Alexa on Raw, we won't have that tease, and we already know that's going to be the case for character-wise.
Right. So I think that'd be kind of a fun way to do it, is to tease that she's coming back with them, only for her to come back to her roots and be the original version of herself when she got called up, the one that everyone really fell in love with as a heel. So I think it'd be good.
I think so too. And now what's finna be good, ladies and gents, it's time. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh.
Ladies and gents, it's time to bring out for the second time, the second week. It's time to find out who the bad of the week is. Feature Big Daddy C.
What's up, good people? It's the Big Daddies. Big Daddy C's Baddie of the Week. Thought about this one, last week we had my voice sound good. I'm good.
Yes, you're good.
You sound real good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. Last week we had good old Willow Nightingale from AEW as my baddie of the week. This week, we're gonna take it back to NXT, and no, it's not who you think it is, because she was the baddie of the year. So we good. We know what it is with Jada. But this week, we're gonna mention someone that I didn't really talk about too much on this podcast. Mike will bring it up every now and then. Just to see if I will put her over Jada, but no, that's not the case. But Mrs. Nikita Lyons, man, she has to be the baddie of the week for this week, man. Before Jada came along, honestly, Nikita Lyons was, she was like that. Athletically, she's good. She's not perfect, obviously, but she, for the most part, I think she has the potential to be greater than most would expect. But she's ultra talented. Got a little singing career on the side. She decent. But yeah, man, this woman is just beautiful. All around, man. It don't even matter. Every time I see her pop up on my social media, man, it's delightful. And so that's my baddie of the week.
Oh.
It feels like you guys are enjoying that a little bit more than the whole sparkling magical thing I had going on my section, huh?
Look, man, when you're talking about women, man, anything is more enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed. I mean, we had a lot underboob from Tiffany Stratton this week, but you know what? I respect it still. We got some takes.
Is he grading? Wait a minute.
I didn't see the underboob though, man. So like,
is he grading your baddie list today?
Wow, I am.
You just got graded, see,
bro. I didn't see the underboob, man. Y'all gotta send it to me, man.
Wow.
It's one thing to tell me about it, but you gotta send me a little screenshot or something.
Fritos
you got social media, you got YouTube, you got whatever, you got the technology in front of you.
Yeah.
They brought back TikTok. You should look at TikTok. They brought that back today.
Yeah, they. I was amazed. The shortest death in American history.
Sure.
Hey, but they help.
It helps
the pod though. It helps the pod.
Indeed.
Though.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. And also what helps the pod and what the pod wants to see more of is Jacob Fatu on the microphone. Guys, he tore it up Friday night. I was like, my God, this man is showing he is a future world champion. He's going to be the world heavyweight champion. I think main event Jey Uso will get it first, but he is going to be eventually a world heavyweight champion also. I mean, he just does amazing mic work. We already know what he does in the ring. His charisma and what he showed to Friday night was none short of amazing. I'm going to turn it over to the resident Friday Night SmackDown host so he could tell us all about what he thought about Jacob Fatu. Go ahead, Fritos.
I love you, Solo and Coach. Sorry.
His voice kind of cracked there at the end, didn't it?
And Coach.
And Coach. But no, that he had the opportunity to do it, and they teased a great match, which we're going to see this next Saturday for a Saturday main event. But yeah, Fatu after this Saturday main event, he's going to be on a fucking whirlwind. Apologize for the language, but he's going to be let loose, and we're going to see the indie version of Jacob Fatu, where he's cutting these promos, where he's doing all these crazy stunts that we've seen on TikTok, on YouTube, on whatever social media you've seen. It's going to be what we've expected from Jacob Fatu. So I'm looking forward to this after this match with Braun Strowman, because it's going to be fantastic. It's everything we expected. So either if he's going to go against Shinsuke for the U.S. title, or Cody, or Gunther, or whoever's going to be the next U.S. or not U.S., but the WWE champion or the World Heavyweight champion, we're going to see that from him because he deserves it, because he's been fantastic. And it's that slow build they've been doing with WWE that we expected, but they're going to let him loose after this Braun Strowman feud.
Agreed. They have a match coming up at Saturday night's main event, him and Braun Strowman, and I fully don't expect them to tear the house down. I think it's going to be a really, really great match. What are your thoughts on Jacob Fatu, Coach?
You know, they didn't even air all of his promo. They kind of jumped in a little bit later than I think he anticipated due to some commercial issues, but they're in San Diego. And this was with Solo still in the ring too.
With his broken nose too.
Yeah. And Solo hasn't said anything. They're booing him. And all Jacob Fatu does is get on the mic and says, y'all better shut your asses up or I'm going to make y'all leave like those dusty ass Chargers left this town. Like
from that dusty ass town.
Beautiful heel work. Beautiful. Bringing that up is beautiful. And so they didn't even hear the best part, in my opinion. But, I mean, just the intensity in his promo was amazing. And you could see even Tama Tonga was kind of getting a little backing away of like, okay, he's getting serious now. And Jacob Fatu had to kind of tell him like, hey, get over here and we're going to do this stuff. As for the match with Strowman, I pray that it's going to be the main event. I know it's not going to, but man, because you can do so many cool spots to end the show with those two. Oh, I'm anticipating for it.
It should not end in a pinfall. Nobody should win that match.
Exactly.
It should literally end in mass chaos between those two, and like
or some type of interference.
Another thing that was pointed out, and another thing that was commented on, Aiden English on his podcast, Rebooked podcast, commented that you see Jacob Fatu starting to wear his clothes, like wear his own clothes. He's not wearing his bloodline costume. He had his hair. He had his own cutout shirt. His streetwear in those early sections when they were beating people down like LA Knight and stuff. It was a little more of him coming into it instead of playing the role of the Bloodlines enforcer. So now he's starting to find his way and become him. Great observation there by Aiden English. And again, it just goes to show you everybody is watching what Jacob Fatu is doing, and everybody is really excited for what he's going to bring to WWE here in the near future. But what we're excited for now is for one coachman to give us who to watch for in wrestling.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great week of watching wrestling. I know we talked about this before, but last week we said Penta was one to watch, and he did not disappoint. He had a little bit of a rough start, a little bit of a botch there in between at the beginning of the match, but he figured it out, and it is going very smoothly for him. And I think it's going to be great. And for the rumors that people were upset that Penta went over a little bit longer than he should have, those were all proven false. Everyone loved what he did, especially his promo. So that was last week's. Let's go on into this week. And this week we're looking into somebody at AEW, one Brody King. And the reason is because he has just filed for a trademark, Hounds of Hell. Could we be looking at the new House of Black faction, or will Brody King be starting his own one? That's something very interesting to look forward to in AEW. And then as for in WWE, we talked about it just a few segments ago, but Charlotte Flair, what kind of promo is she going to be coming out with this week in anticipation for her return at probably the Royal Rumble and the eventual face-off with Tiffany Stratton? The rumblings and backstage are getting strong that is going to be the match for WrestleMania 41 for the WWE Women's Championship, and we can't ask for anything else because that is exactly what we want. We want the future going up against the future Hall of Famer, and that is something that everyone is excited for, and that is who to watch for in wrestling this week.
All right. All right, guys. So, while we are having a moment here, I did want to bring out one thing. I did want to give an update because as we are recording this, TNA's Genesis pay-per-view is happening. So for all of you that don't know, TNA announced a partnership with WWE this past week that blew up all over the internet. And right now, as we are recording, the TNA Genesis pay-per-view is happening, and there has been many updates. So as these updates are happening, I have to talk about them. One being the walking weapon Josh Alexander said I quit tonight, and then also said I quit TNA. And Eric Young is trying to keep him there in TNA. Joe Hendry is still vying for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. That match against Nick Nemeth has not happened yet, but Ryan Nemeth is banned from ringside tonight, so we'll see what happens. Also, NXT superstars have crossed the line. NXT's Cora Jade showed up tonight. After Masha Slamovich retained her TNA Women's Championship. What else? What else do we have here?
You got Ashante.
Yeah, Ashante showed up as well. The Hardys retained their TNA World Tag Team Championships. Expect to see them on NXT and maybe even actually in WWE here real soon. The NXT Tag Team Champions also showed up at TNA Genesis as well. So a lot to answer your question earlier, Fritos, a lot of NXT flavor in TNA.
You forgot one of the most important ones though, Virgil.
Was that
Tessa Blanchard dethroned Jordan Grace tonight for the women's championship. Or I'm sorry, defeated Jordan Grace tonight.
Yeah.
It wasn't for the championship, but
no, it was just a match. And Jordan Grace is apparently on her way to be WWE bound, and it's not going to be like it's not going to be her still having a TNA contract and wrestling for WWE. It's going to be her as a WWE superstar. So Fraxium just showed up at TNA Genesis. The internet is going crazy right now with this Genesis pay-per-view. This is the most buzz TNA has had in a very long time, fellas. How you guys feeling about this deal between TNA and WWE?
I'm excited for it. I'm happy for it. But at the same time, I wish they would get some of the main stars there from SmackDown or Raw on there. If they're doing this partnership, which I get, it's just strictly NXT. Because I feel almost like TNA and NXT are on the same par. But they need to get someone on SmackDown or Raw to just show that partnership being elevated.
I agree. I think this will be a slow burn thing. I'm not necessarily sure that is going to happen immediately, but I do expect to see what happened.
Oh, nothing. Steve just sent something in our group chat.
What happened to him?
He had to take a poop.
He had a bowel movement.
Lord have mercy. All right. Anyways, you never know what you're gonna get on the We Book It podcast. But yeah, so we have I'm excited to see what happens with that. And the last thing I wanted to touch on tonight before we do the Fritos Fave 5, Conan was on his podcast and he said that he wants Kenny Omega to jump into the deep end. Right now he's a big fish in a small pond. But we want to see Kenny Omega go to WWE. He has nothing left to prove in AEW, and he said that he should go to WWE where he can show how talented he really is and have those big matches that people want to see before his career is over with. Kenny Omega recently returned to AEW, and he's been lighting up AEW. I mean, there was even people giving him as high as the praise to say he's still the best in the business, even over Cody, even over Roman. He has better promos, he has better matches, and everything like that is what they said. His aura is different. I don't know that I necessarily agree with all of that, but Kenny Omega is definitely still a top talent in WWE. He's also 41, 42 years old now.
So, yep.
Yeah, so like
like that.
So I mean, you can't build around him forever, but it is nice that you have him to fall back on when times are tough, and times definitely have been tough for AEW as of late. What do you guys think about Conan's comments? Should Kenny Omega jump over to WWE once his contract is over?
Do we know when his contract's ending?
No.
I'll look it up real quick.
While Coach is looking that up, I do believe he should switch over to WWE. I mean, we've always had these dream matches with him, with Seth Rollins, and just every other star we could think of that's super athletic. As of right now, maybe it might be a slow burn since he's had that sufficient, I don't want to say injury, but illness with diverticular. You know what it is, the intestine injury where they had to remove 6 feet of intestines from him, which that can be a strain on anyone. I mean, Brock Lesnar had 3 feet of intestines removed, so that's extreme intense on your body. So let it be the slow build on AEW, and then once stories play out and his contract ends, then yes, switch him over to WWE and let that be a slow build to eventually where he could be your WWE champion for a little bit or your world heavyweight champion. But I would like to see him on there because we have great matchups where we've all dreamed about, especially with Seth Rollins.
A Kenny Omega Seth Rollins match. I'm here for it. What do you think, Coach?
So found some details on his contract. So he is signed with AEW until the end of 2027.
Oh, shoot.
So he signed a new deal late in 2023, basically an extension till 2027. But we were wrong about his age. He is only 40 right now.
Okay. So he'll potentially, by the time he signs that next deal, he'll be 42, 43. And that's actually in WWE years pretty young, to be honest with you.
Well, you look at Finn Balor. Finn Balor's 42 right now, and he's still pulling it off. But to answer your question, Mike or Virgil, about everything kind of that challenge that was given. I think the people know, I think true wrestling fans know how great Kenny Omega is. It's
True.
kind of the lay wrestling fan that doesn't understand how great he is. And maybe that is something in the back of his mind that he might jump the ship to WWE, maybe for just a short run to show like everybody, like even the non-serious wrestling fans, like how great he is. But at the same time, if we're talking diehard wrestling fans, the fact that he's made his name like this without a WWE run is also just as impressive. So I think if he keeps getting pushed, that like, okay, you're doing great with these small promotions or with the rival promotions of WWE, but you haven't haven't been in the company with the most talent and everything, the headliners and all of that stuff. Maybe that pushes him over the edge to grab a WWE contract, but would I love to see Kenny Omega in WWE? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to happen? It is a very, very long shot. I think he is dedicated to AEW, especially with their partnership with New Japan, and he can go back and forth through there because New Japan is his true home. Yeah. So unless something happens to where New Japan drops out of the AEW contract and somehow goes to WWE, I don't see him leaving AEW.
Which is fine. Which is honestly fine. If not everybody can jump over to WWE. And like I said, Codan's comments spark a really good conversation. But at the same time, we have to understand not everybody can jump over to WWE. You have to have people in wrestling that understand that it's only so much room at the top. And again, it's nut cutting time as is. The only superstar right now you're looking at losing is John Cena. Outside of that, you still got years of CM Punk, years of Seth Rollins, years of Drew McIntyre. Kevin Owens just signed a new deal. Like all the top guys are still there. Roman Reigns did say he might retire, in the near future. I mean, the next couple. That's like 2 years down the line. But I mean, WWE is set up, and Cody Rhodes just signed a new deal too. So I mean, like I said, WWE has the talent. It is set up. And then you got the guys that want the shot at the world title that are believable, could be world champions, such as Jey Uso, such as Sami Zayn. Those guys that have just built themselves up in the last year or so that could get those title runs too. So WWE is stacked. Kenny Omega will be coming to a stacked roster with the most competition. I would be curious to see how he fit in. But again, like you, I think it's a long shot. I don't think it'll happen. We'll just have to see, though. But what we won't have to wait any longer for is the main event of the night, folks. That's right. It's time for everybody's favorite countdown show. It's time for Frito's Fave 5. Frito's favorite 5. Presented by no one.
Not yet.
Not with your attitude.
Exactly. Be positive. Virgil, you know what to do. Hit my music! It's really low, but it's fine. I respect it.
It's coming. Give it a second.
There we go. It's louder. I respect it. At number 5, I've got Tiffany Stratton. Her first matchup in her new reign as your women's champion was against Bayley, which I thought she had a great performance and beat Bayley to set her dominance in her reign. Just keep an eye on her. At number 4, I've got MJF. With his promo against Jeff Jarrett, going against him and with the low blow against Owen Hart, mentioning that. That's kind of intense. Ooh. You can see that intensity from Jeff Jarrett when he brought up Owen Hart. Keep an eye on that feud. Jeff Jarrett might be your new AEW champion. Number 3, I got Jacob Fatu. He had a chance to cut a promo, and he did. keep an eye on him. He might be your next men's US or IC champion or your next main event. But guess what? That man is going to unleash a bunch of hell on everyone on the roster. Number 2, I've got Damian Priest against his match against Finn Balor. That match itself had a bunch of ruthless aggression and Attitude Era feel to it. That's what's going to draw all these old fans back onto Raw and WWE. So keep an eye on what Damian's going to do. I'm sure he's going to say he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, but guess what? It's fine. He's not going to win it, but his reign when he was World Heavyweight Champion was fantastic. And number 1, I've got Penta. The match was kind of botchy and slow, but guess what? Penta is in WWE and Raw. He cut a great promo, and his new era is starting right now. Expect big things from him in this new era, because it's being fantastic. And that is your Fritos Fave 5. Yeah.
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 That really flew. Holy shit.
Oh, man.
Uh,
All right. Well, Coachman, what would you give Fritos Fave 5 for this week?
Love number 1. Great choice. Agreed with, I thought Tiffany should have been higher
Fair
for
enough.
the title defense. If I'm going to be honest with you, I would have taken MJF out to replace him with Jeff Jarrett. I think Jeff Jarrett was better in that battle, in that promo battle, and oddly enough, people backstage were not too happy with MJF in his promo against Jeff Jarrett. I read somewhere that him talking about Jarrett leaving companies that die did not sit well with AEW officials, and it's so it's kind of telling that AEW might not be in the best spots right now. I'm not sure, but I think Jeff Jarrett won that battle, like you said, brought up Owen Hart, and really kind of fired on all cylinders. So I think Jarrett's 2-0 in the promo battles with MJF. So I'm going to give you a B-.
I would have to disagree with only because the MJF shot with Karen Angle or whatnot, and when he mentioned Karen Angle and Jeff being able to taste Olympic balls and greatest pro wrestling balls. I mean, that was top notch.
Okay,
That was
yeah,
top notch.
You're right.
That was top notch heel work at its finest.
That's true.
But like I said, it was almost like cringy, but it was like, ooh. But at the same time, I loved it because that's what an MJF promo is supposed to be like. So,
And that's what we all know and expect from MJF.
Indeed. Guys, it's hard being the WWE Undisputed Champion, but somebody has to do it, especially since Cody's injured and he has to relinquish his belt this coming week. Like I said, so I'm excited, though, to be carrying the gold for us and for this podcast. But as far as Fritos Fave 5 goes, I would say that Fritos Fave 5, for me, you would get an A. I think you did a great job with it. I think that you nailed all of them. MJF kicked ass in that promo. And like I said, I'm excited for what's going to happen here in the near future. But that is our time, good people. I'm going to set this down so I can close the show. Sorry, it's hard being, WWE champion, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to wear the gold.
I mean, someone's got to be the workhorse champion of the podcast, and that's me, but, whatever.
Oh.
That's okay, QB2. You keep being good, QB2.
Oh, you wish.
Ooh, I feel hurt on that one.
But In other notes, guys, we appreciate you all for watching this train wreck of a podcast. If you made it to the end, please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you guys thought of the show, as well as get involved in the conversation. We have multiple topics we talked about tonight. Is Corey Graves being a big crybaby, or does he have valid points as to why he should be upset? Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, how would you book them to come back to WWE? Also, did you enjoy Magic Mike's moment? Then we talk about Jacob Fatu. That's everybody's favorite subject right now. We also covered the WWE and TNA agreement announcement that came through. We even had stars of NXT show up tonight on Genesis. Then, of course, we had Big Daddy C's Sugar Baby Nikita Lyons. And then, last but not least, we did Conan warning Kenny Omega to jump to WWE. Give us your thoughts on that. Should Kenny Omega in 2027 go to WWE? And then last but not least, we need all of you to rate Frito's Fave 5. If it sucked, please tell him. He does have thick skin, so he'll be okay. But until next time, good people, thank you all so much for tuning in to another We Book It podcast. And until next time, keep those booking pencils sharp and keep on booking.